What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking play. Now, there are some shows on YouTube that when I see them post something, I just watch it. I just watch it. I assume that that's how some of you are whenever LFR Family posts something, and I thank y'all for that. But Outnumbered is one of those shows now, man. And look, I ain't about to tell y'all why. Why I'm watching it is none of y'all business. But I enjoy it. It's quite informative, and it's beautiful at the same time. What am I gonna say? So this one right here, it got Callie McEnany. It says she's ripping the Democrats over tax flip-flop. And it says, do they have amnesia? So I'm assuming that she's about to tear their tails up. And so are the other ladies. Let's see what they got on.
Republicans are blasting the massive spending plan that just narrowly passed in the Senate, calling it an economic assault on the middle class and warning that Democrats will pay the price for it in the midterms. Not one GOP senator voted in favor of the nearly $740 billion spending bill. Eesh. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris, she had to come in and break the 50-50 tie.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the bill, as amended, is passed.
And that vote came after a marathon 16-hour session over the weekend. They called it Vote-a-rama, where Republicans tried to add amendments, but Democrats swatted them down. And when it was all over, the package still contained hundreds of billions of dollars for climate change, a huge priority of the American people, deficit reduction, and tax hikes. Plus, it supersizes the IRS, adding 87,000 agents, while the Democrats were patting themselves on the back for this and getting their liberal wish list passed. Republicans warn this is turning into a war on the middle class that will backfire big time on the Dems come November. Here's Senator Ted Cruz.
All the Democrats say they're worried and want to lower gas prices. They all just voted to raise gas taxes and to raise your price at the pump. This bill creates 87,000 new IRS agents. It doubles the size of the IRS. The Democrats are...
Okay, question, because I'm going to let Ted Cruz finish. What's the benefit of this passing for the Democrats? Why is this so lucrative that they all had to make sure that they voted in the affirmative for this bill? And why is it Kamala? Some people call her Kamala. Why is it that she was so giddy to send the vote over the top, like to be the one to decide? If this is actually happening, they're raising gas taxes and whatnot. They're beefing up the IRS, and it's a lot of money we're going to be losing. Then why is half of the Senate so gung ho about getting it done? I really want to know that, because I get it. It's strategy going on. There's a lot of pieces in place that I don't understand. You all do. That's why I'm asking.
Making the IRS bigger than the Pentagon, plus the Department of State, plus the FBI, wow, plus the Border Patrol combined, the IRS is going to be bigger. This is a massive power grab.
So gone is the Inflation Reduction Act, Harris, and I say that because all of the headlines suggest that it's no longer here. And with us now is the climate bill. CBS says Senate passes Democrat sweeping climate, health, and tax bill. CNN, Senate passes sweeping health care and climate bill. NBC, you can read them for yourself. The Guardian, it is now the climate bill.
So that was the inherent lie in how they were going to pass this. And look, I just call balls and strikes. The CBO, Wharton and Penn, many analysts had looked at this. Bernie Sanders, right, and said this does nothing to lower inflation. In fact, if you look, it increases it for 2 years, and then it kind of goes flat till 2031. So that doesn't help us with inflation at all. Yet they called it the Inflation Reduction Act because they had to get people behind this in their own party. They had to do it. I'm curious, though, does this give Kamala Harris the kind of street cred she was so for? She finally got something done. She signed this bill into law as the deciding vote. She could just sit there and do that. and then they all rally around and they take their victory lap. Look, how many Democrats have lined up? We just left the Faulkner Focus with this very thought. So many of them are saying no to Joe Biden. You're going to have to give her street cred. Is this part of how you do it? I mean, so it was a win-win for Democrats, not for the American people.
Not at all. And you mentioned Senator Bernie Sanders. We have that. Let's play a moment of honesty here from Senator Sanders.
I want to take a moment to say a few words about the so-called Inflation Reduction Act that we are debating this evening. And I say so-called, by the way, because according to the CBO and other economic organizations who have studied this bill, it will in fact have a minimal impact on inflation.
Not quite the DNC talking points, Jackie.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, finally they're calling it what it is, Harris, to the point that you just made. Inflation Reduction Act was a total line just to get people to think it was something that it wasn't. With respect to your point about Kamala Harris, that this is a win for her, it may be within the party, but the problem is what this is going to do, the cost to the American people. So if you continue spending in the current environment that we're in, you're 100% right. Inflation is only going to get worse. What happens then? All the onus goes into the lap of the Fed. Jerome Powell raised rates aggressively to try to tamp inflation down, and we get stuck deeper in a recession. And the irony with respect to expanding the IRS in this way that's going to impact the low and middle class is those are the people that you promised you were going to help. Now you're going to come after them. They're defenseless. They don't have the kind of money that they can spend on lawyers and accountants to fight back. They get scared, they get upset, and they just want to settle at a time when they're already paying more across the board for goods and services, and essentially you're going to add more taxes, effective taxes, in their laps. This is really, it's troubling for the American people.
During a recession, and that's key here, because Democrats, they do understand basic economics, so they threw it out the window here. But listen to what Democrats said prior to this moment.
I don't think during a time of recession you mess with any of the taxes or increase any taxes.
When the economy is in decline, you don't want to raise overall taxes.
I will cut taxes for 95% of all working families. Because in an economy like this, the last thing we should do is raise taxes on the middle class.
I mean, do they have amnesia? I don't know.
Most likely they do, right? But
I don't think they have amnesia. I just think that they are trying to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And it's at the behest of those same people who voted them into office, unfortunately. It's like, at this point, they don't have to appease the people who voted for them because they already know that the people who voted for them voted blindly anyway. I mean, I'm one of them people. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I voted blindly. I watch a lot of these videos where people are out on the street interviewing people, asking them why did they vote for this person, how do they feel about how this person is doing in office, blah blah blah, and it always comes around to these people are extremely ill-informed. I mean, honestly, I would say I probably knew a little bit more than a lot of them people that are out there being interviewed. But they are extremely ill-informed, but that does not prevent them from sticking firm to their stance as to why they chose this person and why they didn't choose this person right here that our news sources have been speaking badly about for a long time. So I don't get it, man. I honestly don't get it, because if it's really about money, then wouldn't it make sense for them to make the smart play so that when it's time to be voted into office again, like they're trying to get everything done right now because they feel like in 2024 they are going to get hosed. And I believe that feeling is, I don't know, I think it's true. They are going to get hosed because they deserve it. They haven't been doing anything to get voted back in. But that's just me, man.
But here's what they're doing, too. They're coming out and saying, oh, this doesn't raise taxes. You will save money. You will save money because we're going to give you rebates on solar panels, on energy-efficient appliances.
Because you're buying solar panels tomorrow,
Oh,
right?
I am. And that EV.
Electric cars?
Yes. I mean, see, that's the thing. They say if you buy an EV, we'll give you a rebate. Well, chances are the people buying electric vehicles are wealthier than the average people in America because these cars are expensive. whoop-de-doo, we get a rebate on that, or on an energy-efficient refrigerator or dishwasher. That is not really helping too many people.
I'm glad you put it out there, because Democrats like to set themselves up to be the party that does not give all of these credits to the rich and to the people who are well off. They like to set themselves aside for that, but they are actually the ones that do the exact opposite, man. They don't help the poor middle class at all. They help those that can help them when it's time to run again. That's what they do.
So I like it when they try to sell something with this. It's the Inflation Reduction Act, and it's got a couple little things tucked in, but basically it's like saying I'm wearing silver right now. I'm silver here, but I'm really wearing yellow. They're telling you one thing, but deep inside when you dig in, you find the gross stuff. And let's just see what Lisa Murkowski of Alaska said. She didn't vote for this, and she very often votes with Democrats, but she said even floor debate with amendment votes starting just before midnight on Saturday and continuing through Sunday afternoon was designed to avoid public awareness and scrutiny. While I don't oppose everything within the bill, there's no doubt in my mind, based on both substance and process, that the Senate should not have passed it.
Well, but to expand on your analogy, the American people know yellow is not silver, Todd. In fact, they told ABC such, with nearly 7 in 10 saying the economy is going to get worse. GOP, they should look alarm bells for the midterms. GOP has +9 on the economy, +10 on inflation, +9 on gas prices, on which party voters trust to handle the number 1, 2, 3 issues for the American people.
Well, we've talked about ad nauseum how the left likes to relabel things, and I'm pretty sure the only reason you have me on the show is because you like my analogy. So here's another one to the parents of daughters. When you want to give your daughter a bad medicine, you call it princess juice and say, here's princess juice. Isn't this great? And then you take it, you realize it's medicine. Well, this is for a prescription that, quite frankly, the American people don't need. Before we go, we've talked about the Democratic assault on the middle class, faith, family, freedom.
That's a sharp suit, bro. I gotta get me a solid blue suit. That joint right there is sharp. Real.
I look at this bill and I say they're cutting out the middleman. They're getting rid of the middle class entirely with this bill. Wow. This is part of another step toward that.
Wow, Todd, we have you on the show because we love you.
And the analogies.
Just to speak to what you said real quickly, though, that CBO score, that's what they didn't want people to see. They didn't want people to see that it wasn't going to have any effect on inflation. So it was a skirting of time in order for that not to be seen by a wider public.
She seems so studious and astute. Like, she seems to be, she presents herself like part of the elite. That makes any sense. I don't know. She just has this thing about her that just tells me that. But guys,
and that's the rush to do the vote this weekend.
Exactly.
They wanted to jam it down before people really understood what was happening.
Yep, and this will crush the middle class. Hello, higher taxes.
Girl right there, hold on 1 second. She wasn't on here. She wasn't on it at all. What happened to her?
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno.
Emily Campagno wasn't on the show today, man. And you know what I mean? She told me to watch the show. She said she was gonna be on the show today. She wasn't on the show. Oh, good. She ain't tell me that. I don't know her. I want to hear what y'all got to say about this in the comments below. And if you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I'm Van, and now we are all the LFR family. I'm about to kill me a daggone fly. You are getting on my nerves right now, and you about to be extremely upset that you are so brazen and brave right now. I apologize to your family for what's about to happen to you, fly. Oh yeah, it's about to go down, son. It's about to go down.